تهیه و تنظیم در استودیو بیزرایز.
So guys, welcome to this next module within Kaizen Cure. Today we are talking about the fact that you are not your mind, and I'm going to reveal to you two really powerful techniques to kind of just drill that in and really help you in times when your willpower is depleted, like you are on the edge of caving in, of going back to the person that you have been trying to run from so long, the person that you are trying to leave behind to become the person that you want to become. Okay, so let's get into it. So first thing I want to run through is let's break down what our DNA actually wants. Because at the end of the day, like our brain, our biology has not caught up to modern science, modern evolution, the new challenges that we face day to day. The new challenges that we face day to day, and also some of the stuff that like we have the luxury of not really having to worry about anymore, such as food, for most of us, that is. So, or at least for any of you guys watching this. So, as I said, let's break down what our DNA wants. Our DNA wants the minimum effort put in for the maximum value extracted. Our brain is always plotting different ways that we can get the maximum value and put the minimum effort in. Okay? We want safety and security. We don't want things to change. Remember, your brain is trying to build neural pathways all the time, and it's trying to have, some sort of equilibrium. It's trying to keep things very, very similar or the same and replicable, because then it has to spend less time exerting energy on thinking what to do. So, safety and security, we really don't want things to change. And we want to reproduce and live as comfortably as possible to keep the species alive and well. We don't want to strive. We don't want to strive. We just want to survive. And that kind of comes down. That's quite simple. Our DNA wants us to survive, whereas our soul wants us to strive. And the crazy thing is, it's you. It's always been you, and it'll always be you. It's you versus you. Now, I know a lot of people, as I said, you'll see the motivational quotes like, it's you versus you, blah, blah, blah. No, but like, seriously, guys, like, literally anything that you want to do, it is 99.9% you. The reason you're not where you want to be is you. The reason that your relationship is failing, it's you. Like, you always have some sort of control over yourself, over your mind, over your environment, and you can change and manipulate things to your own, to what it is that you want to achieve. So next thing I want to talk to you guys about is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So here's his hierarchy of needs. So as you kind of get up, this is stuff that is more, less people get up to these paradigms and these levels. So first of all is physiological. So we want to breathe, we want food, water, sex, sleep, homeostasis, excretion. Then after we have that in order, we want stuff like safety. So safety will even be just security of body, employment. We want some sort of stable job or resources. We want stability or safety with the family, health, property. So that's sort of the next paradigm. Paradigm above that is love and belonging. So, we want things like friendships, family, sexual intimacy, good relationships, etc., etc. And then once we have that in place, we move off to wanting things like esteem. So we want self-esteem, we want confidence, we want the respect of others. We want all of these things. So the paradigm above that is self-actualization, morality, creativity, spontaneity, problem solving, lack of prejudice, acceptance of facts. Now, he breaks these up into 5 different sections. What I actually go ahead and do is I break them up into 3. Mind, body, and soul.
تهیه و تنظیم در استودیو بیزرایز.
So look, your body wants things like obviously breathing, food, water, sex, sleep, homeostasis, excretion. Then we move up to your mind. Now your mind wants your friend to approve of what you're doing. Your mind wants a stable job. Your mind wants to feel like, you are, if everyone in your community makes 90K on average, you make 100K, the 10K is literally nothing. Like, I know I don't mean to be rude here, but it's in the same way, like, to me, the difference between The difference in making $500,000 a year, like that, to me, that's a lot. If I make $500,000 more or $500,000 less than my current income, whereas say a billionaire, he's like, dude, that's fuck all. So I guess it's all just, there's levels to this, I guess. But I can honestly tell you, like, if your community is making 90K on average and you're making 100K, then 10K really doesn't mean shit. What does mean shit is the fact that your community makes 90K and you make 100K. So that kind of feeds into your mind. So above that is your soul. Now your soul is just like, guys, honestly, I'm not religious. I am spiritual, but I'm also not very like woo-woo. Like I'm if you guys know me, I'm a straight shooter. I don't really like fuck around. So if we move on to the soul, like your soul knows what's best for you. Your soul is I would say it's just the purest form of feedback you could possibly ever get. So if you always operate out of what your body and soul want, then you'll forever be enslaved. Okay, so you have to transition to the soul. So to bring this back to reality, what does this actually mean for me and my success? So look, if we go, on a day-to-day basis, you wake up at, say you're waking up and then now your body is telling you, oh, you need more sleep because the bed's comfortable. Like what it's thinking is the bed's comfortable. Don't go out. Don't exert energy. We have energy saved. We have muscle saved and fat saved. We have energy stores. Just like don't go out and waste this shit. Like we're good. Stay in bed. Don't exert energy. Stop. Then your mind goes, and then you get out of bed, and then your mind goes. You get a text from a friend and it completely throws you off, and that's your mind. Or you get, you want this sense of like belonging, and you want this sense of belonging and sort of social aspect. So rather than having a phone-free morning, if you can do that, I don't turn my phone on until 7 hours after I wake up. I have my team reaches me through Slack and email if need be, but I don't even really ever check email. So, you will wake up and then your mind will go, no, I need to stay connected. It'll experience things like fear of missing out. But your soul knows best. Your soul is deep down your biggest goals and ambitions and dreams. So as I said, you need to transition to the soul. So what this means for you on a practical sense is I was taught this technique called You're Not Your Mind. So I was taught this by my meditation coach, and she explained the concept of lower mind versus higher mind and how your lower mind will drag you down. So guys, it is so crazy. Like she calls it lower mind, higher mind. I call it like low vibration energy, high vibration energy. And once again, I don't mean for this to get too like woo woo, but do you ever just get it? Like for example, where you're, I don't know, you're sitting down and you're trying to focus on the work and the task at hand. And then like suddenly you need to go to the bathroom, or suddenly you need to eat, or suddenly you need to do something, and that is just your mind playing tricks with you. That's your lower mind. That's the part of your mind that wants you to stay within your mind and your body. Now your high, once again, I'll just call it low vibration.
تهیه و تنظیم در استودیو بیشتری.
Low vibration energy, high vibration energy. Your low vibration energy is mainly rooted in your body and your mind. Okay, and you cannot trust your body or your mind. I have disattached so far from my body and my mind. It is incredible. I don't trust my body and my mind. My body and my mind don't fucking know what's best for me. My soul knows what's best for me. And once again, guys, you can plug in your own terms here. I've just used these terms. This could literally just be like body and mind could be like, I don't know, distractions, or it could be like, one version of yourself, and then the soul could be another version of yourself. Plug in whatever words you feel comfortable with. So, as I said, I was taught this by my meditation coach, and the crazy thing, as I said, your low vibration energy will try to hold you down to your body and your mind. Your low vibration energy will, just focus on some stupid shit that someone who's not important said, because that feeds into your mind and what your mind wants. Or, when you're getting like when it's early in the morning and you should wake up but you don't, that's your low vibration energy. That is your low vibration energy tricking your body into thinking that it needs more sleep when it doesn't, or tricking your body into thinking that it's tired. Now your soul, as I said, your soul knows what is best for you, right? Your soul is it's your biggest dreams, ambitions. It is your most logical state. It's your intuition and it's also logic. So we started using this technique called "You're Not Your Mind" during meditation whenever I would get restless or tired. So, there were times in meditation where like I needed to scratch my nose, or like I needed to, like I felt restless or I felt tired, or I'm like, okay, I don't need to do this, or this is stupid, or like whatever it may be, or my mind was just like constantly wandering all over the place. So we actually started to use this technique called "You're Not Your Mind" during meditation whenever I would get restless or tired. So I started implementing it through various other aspects of my life and saw incredible results whenever I had cravings or wanted to sleep in, etc. So what you do is whenever your mind is trying to play with you, simply tell yourself you are not your mind again and again. You will soon start to train it like you would a dog, and your mind will obey what your soul tells it to do. Okay, so next time you have a craving for McDonald's or Burger King or whatever it may be, or Five Guys, just tell yourself, replay this again and again in your head. You are not your mind. That is what your mind and your body want. That's not what your soul wants. Because yes, at that moment you have two options. Either I'm going to nourish my body or I'm going to nourish my soul. So either I'll nourish my body and my body just wants the most calories as possible. It wants to store it as fucking fat because it thinks that for some reason because it just hasn't caught up to modern society. It doesn't realize that realistically you're not going to run out of food, or at least if you're listening to this, it's very unlikely that you're ever going to face starvation. But it doesn't know that, so it just wants to nourish the body. So your choice is either are you gonna have that Five Guys and nourish your body, and then you're gonna feel like shit, and your soul is slowly gonna start to disintegrate, or are you gonna nourish your soul and you're gonna go ahead and have sweet potatoes and whatever. Okay, sweet potatoes and chicken, whatever it is you're into, or have a nice kale vegan salad, whatever it is. Right? So guys, what you're going to see in this course is I'm going to give you very, very practical like step-by-step secrets and hacks, but I'm also going to give you the higher level framework. For example, something like this. So at that point, you have two options. Are you going to feed your body, or are you going to feed your soul? So as I said, when I started to implement this, I just saw incredible results. Even when I was in the gym, you're not your mind. My mind is telling me to stop. My body is telling me to stop. But like, it doesn't know what's best for me. It doesn't, my soul knows.
تهیه و تنظیم در استودیو بیشتری.
My soul knows what's best for me, and what's best for me is I want to be in peak condition. I want to look the best I can look, and I want to have the most peak energy that I can have. I want to have vitality of energy, because I need two things to accomplish the things that I want to do in life: time and energy. Energy within myself. So, guys, as I said, you can use this in no matter what instance you want. As I said, if a friend hit you up, or for example, say someone, said something nasty about you. Look, either you can play into your mind and you can replay that again and again and again, because all your mind is thinking at that point is someone doesn't like me. This is an issue because now the tribe is going to turn against me and I'm not going to belong, and then they're going to kick me out of the tribe and I'm fucked. That's not going to happen, guys. Like, if someone gives you their stupid fucking opinion, who cares? Who are they? They're nothing. Okay? So either you fall into the trap of your mind and you replay that and loop that again and again, what that person said, or instead you listen to your soul, and your soul knows what's best for you, and your soul knows that, look, either I can focus on this shit for half a day and ruin my day, or I can let go of it and achieve all the things that I want to achieve. And what you need to do in that instance, as I said, is, look, I just tell myself, I'm not my mind. I'm not my mind. I repeat that again and again in my head. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk to you guys about is, I call it the force of future technique. So basically what that is using the previous techniques, I would find times where I was battling my willpower so much that I almost felt nauseous. And it was at that point where I developed the force of nature technique. So, you know, I was telling myself, you're not your mind, you're not your mind, you're not your mind. And it helped in incredible ways, but I just needed something else as sort of a last crutch. So next time you find yourself in a mental battle, just imagine the best version of yourself. What does he, she look like, talk like, act like? Okay? Now imagine that person is in the room with you and extending out an arm to help you, and either you can take the hand and continue to the person you could become, or instead fall back into the version of yourself you hate. So imagine that. Imagine the best version of yourself, the highest version of yourself. What really think about this. What do you in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, what do you look like? What do you act like? What do you sound like? What are the things going on in your head? Now, I want you to imagine, as I said, when you are struggling, when you are about to, you know, you're on Uber Eats or Deliveroo or whatever it is, whatever food delivery service you have in your country, you know, and you're about to order that Five Guys or McDonald's or Domino's or whatever it may be, and you're about to tap confirm. Imagine that person looking at you, and imagine that person extending a hand out to you, right? And as I said, at that moment, you have a choice. Either you're gonna follow that person and follow that person to the person you're born to be, you were meant to be, you could be, or just fall back and go to the version of yourself you hate, and you hate and you loathe that version. You know, because the thing is, we like to be congruent. Okay, this is really big. We like to be congruent, and the thing is, if you say, this is also one of the reasons a lot of people say that, like, fake it till you make it works. It's because it's a congruence thing. So people say that, look, if you fake it till you make, like, if you say you're something you're not, I don't really recommend it, but like, they say that, you know, the issue is that if you say it and then you're not congruent to it and you don't actually achieve it, like, it's actually so much more painful. Like, it is so painful for us, and that's why people go through, like, identity crises, because, like, it's so painful for us to have this self-identity of ourselves and then go against it. You know, and we all have an identity of ourselves. Some people, we identify with just being a piece of shit, which is maybe what someone told us, which isn't fucking true. And some of us identify with being peak performers, right? And it's what you identify with that will define what actions you find acceptable. You know, if you identify as a peak performer, you won't find watching a 60-minute Netflix, not even a documentary, just 60-minute Netflix like show or something. You don't find that okay. Or like, you don't find eating, you know, or going out and eating a pizza okay. Like, or at least on a consistent basis. That, you know, that's not okay with you. That's not within your standards. So if a peak performer, you know, completely fell down, had a terrible day, and ordered a McDonald's and watched TV, I can tell you that person would be facing such a self-identity crisis that, you know, it would almost feel like death to him. Whereas the person that identifies differently, you know what, they might be in a position where, like, they order the McDonald's and that's okay. Like, that's completely fine to them. Okay, so as I said, next time you find yourself in a mental battle, just imagine the best version of yourself. What does he, she look like, talk like, act like? You know, and just imagine them in the room extending out an arm to help you. And either you take the hand and continue to the person you could become, or instead fall back into the version of yourself you hate. So use these two techniques daily. The first few days are the hardest, and then after that, you should soon be the master of your mind. So guys, today's action step, I want you to set a timer for 5 minutes and imagine what your future self looks like, and make this image as strong as can be. The more strong you make this, the easier it'll be when, as I said, you just have to dip into so much willpower, you know, and it's just gonna be so much easier when you can see who the person is that you could become. And then now, as I said, you have the option to take the right action and be that person, or fall back into your old ways and, you know, just hate yourself and loathe the person you are, as most people do. So choice is yours. So guys, go ahead and complete this action step, and I will see you in the next module.
تهیه و تنظیم در استودیو بیشتری.